Well, hi, everybody. I'm John Denver.
I'm Joey Rogan.
We are Denver.
And Rogan.
And that's good. That's good. Let's just go. Let's see what happens, because this isn't going to be the one anyway.
So we've got 43 potential greatest bands. We've stamped our brand, Denver and Rogan, on these 43, so you can be rest assured those are the bands that qualify as potentially the greatest American band.
Love it. Well, so how are we going to do this exactly? We've got to winnow this list down.
Well, I know what I'm going to do. I have one criteria that I know you'll agree is a wonderful criteria for winnowing this list down. Mm-hmm. And that is, does this band have tribute bands that are created in their honor in 2025? And not just is there a tribute band, I mean, are there tribute bands created in communities and towns? So they make money.
So that's how you determine who the greatest band is.
Oh, no.
Is there a tribute band making money?
Very loyally, John, very loyally. No.
Very sound.
No, this is the way to winnow it down.
Okay.
Because the greatest American band will have a tribute band, have many tribute bands dedicated to their honor in 2025.
All right, that actually makes a little bit of sense.
Oh.
I'll give you that. I figure they've got to have a pretty extensive catalog. I don't want any of these bands that pop in for 2 albums, or they have 2 records that are sort of known, and the rest of it then they continue to dribble out. Irrelevant nonsense for the rest of their careers. And also they have to have a broad appeal. I don't think a cult band really ought to be named the greatest American band. Could be wrong. We'll go with our gut on some of these, but should we get to the list?
Yeah, and one note about this list, these are bands, so it's no individual, it's no singer, it's not Elvis Presley, it's not Chuck Berry, it's got to be a band.
Yeah, that's important. Yeah, and it's rock. We're sticking to rock, so Earth, Wind and Fire, War, Kool and the Gang, Parliament, Funkadelic, they're not going to be on
here. You could
here.
make an argument for all of those, but this is rock.
Yeah, rock only. But let's go through them. Would you like to start? Or would you like me to start?
Well, I can start. So we're going to do this alphabetically. And my criteria is, again, and I won't repeat this a lot, you'll probably get it this time, is there an industry of tribute bands around the country dedicated to this band?
Okay, we got to move fast here. And by the way, if one of us eliminates a band that the other feels quite strongly should remain,
of course,
we get a handful of blocks. We decided 3 blocks would be an appropriate number. We'll see. Maybe we won't need any. Who knows? But anyway, you want to start?
Yeah. Aerosmith is the first on the list. And I have to say, they easily pass. They have every type of tribute band. They do fine with tribute bands. Aerosmith gets a pass, possibly America's greatest band.
Okay, so that makes the tribute band cut. Allman Brothers is next.
Brought back home, you'll always run, just sweet Melissa.
It's my choice, and if we're being, they're good. They did last, and they did have a significant album in the 90s, even well past their prime. Maybe it was the late 80s. We got to be ruthless, and I have to cut them. They're not the greatest American band.
Oh.
They're gone.
But they make your criteria.
Yeah, they have a long catalog, and they have broad appeal. But they don't have the kind of broad appeal. What's a famous Allman Brothers song? My favorite is Whipping Post.
Yeah, I was about to say Whipping Post. I'm
but
trying
the
to think
big
of
one is Lord, I Was Born a Rambler.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big, yeah. But I don't love that song, so I'm cutting them. They're gone.
That's only 2 songs. Okay, the Beach Boys.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older?
Well, I think on any criteria they're going to pass, but certainly on tribute bands, I imagine there's been maybe 100 million Beach Boys tribute bands thus far, so they pass.
The Beach Boys pass. Okay, I really disagree with that. Big Star. It's up to me.
Whoa.
Sit in the back of the car. Music so loud, can't tell a thing.
Big Star is one of my dearest bands. I love Big Star. They only have 3 albums, and they are a cult band. They're a big cult band, and they influenced hundreds of bands, but they can't be America's best band. Sorry. Goodbye.
Yeah, not big enough. Oh my gosh.
You read me my rights, and then you said, let's go and nothing more.
Blondie has tons of tribute bands. Blondie, just look them up, and some awesome ones too, but they pass.
Blondie passes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's up to me then. Blue Oyster Cult.
Canadian mountain, baby, please false at word. Red and black, it's their color scheme.
I would have cut 'em.
And Blue Oyster Cult definitely stays. A long catalog. They are on the cusp of cult, but they have 3 big radio songs and about 5 smaller radio songs that are still in rotation on classic rock, and they're one of the coolest bands ever to exist, and they remain on the list.
Yeah, one of my favorites. But I would have cut them. Boston, ooh. That's going to be rough. That's like right in the middle. And I'm not looking at numbers, but I don't think I've ever seen or heard of a Boston tribute band. But
There's gotta
they're
be.
just too good, though, I think. I mean, they'd be a hard band to tribute.
Well,
but
for
that's
the
sad.
singer, hard for the singer, I would say.
You don't
Otherwise,
think...
I don't think they're
They-
well, maybe the
uh,
dee or that all the
and also
organ.
the sound. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I think they're tight. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm gonna keep them because you can't kick them out. But on my criteria, they're really. I don't think they quite make it. But I'm gonna keep them.
Okay.
Oh, that's too bad. I gotta kick someone out.
Okay, the Byrds.
So you want to be a rock and roll star? Then listen now to what I say. Just get an electric guitar and take some time and learn how to play.
Now, I'm going to say we keep the Byrds. The Byrds were the maybe only truly significantly successful band that could go shoulder to shoulder with the British invasion bands. They're about the only one. They influenced enough in many genres, including Americana. They're still talked about it ad nauseum. It's really tiresome. Anyway, they stay on the list for now.
I don't want to hold her down, don't want to break her crown when she says, let's go. I like the nightlife, baby.
You'll never probably see a Cars tribute band. I don't know why that is. Have you seen one?
I don't know. I'm sure they're out there.
I just don't know if it's a thing.
Okay. Well, what do you say?
Can we take a second just to Google it, or is that just too much?
Okay, yeah, because your damn criteria.
We can edit it.
Oh, yeah, we'll edit it. Hold on.
Okay, so we went on the internet to check the Cars out.
This disgusts me. I just want you to know that this is the
I
way
think this is good
you're-
criteria.
Have you cut any yet?
But I
'Cause
would
you got 10.
I would have cut the Byrds. I would have cut.
Would have doesn't count, but
I would
those
have
aren't
cut
good.
Blue Oyster Cult.
This is a randomized trial.
Well, let's see what happens.
All right.
I might still cut more.
Cars remain.
Cars remain.
Okay.
You know what? Get rid of Boston. Boston's gone.
You know what? I
You
agree
like
with
that? You
I
like
agree
that?
with that.
You want to talk
Yeah, okay.
about
There.
cutting?
Boston's
I
gone.
did it.
Okay, you did it. Good job.
Take me back down a Clearwater road, y'all.
CCR has to remain. It's one of the only bands that where every one of their singles is basically a standard. And I remember reading every time that CCR released a single, it was anticipated and it was thrilling. They were like the Beatles in that way. So CCR remains. All right.
She's tight. She's a hell of a giant. She's tight. She's one of a kind. She's tight. She's a talented girl. She's tight. She's got her head down tight.
Cheap Trick. Okay, this time I'm pretty sure there's not a ton of Cheap Trick, except regionally, maybe in the Chicago area. There's not a ton of Cheap Trick tribute bands. I'm willing to guess.
We're going to the...
And just because you find a bunch, that doesn't
Trick.
count. It
doesn't count?
No, they got to be actually gigging. They can't have a page from 1980.
Cheap Trick tribute band. Those men inside my brain.
So there's
Cleveland. Trick Police. Cheap
Midwest.
Trick. Find the Dream Police,
okay.
California.
Yeah, they're all gonna have something.
Yeah, that's the problem with this.
Well, I could price it on the Seattle.
Oh, you see who costs the most?
Yeah, let's see what the price is.
All right, go. So Cheap Trick, stay or go?
Well,
Are they the greatest
We
American
may have
band?
to run it then.
Are they?
They're not, but that's not my criteria. But okay, okay. Cheap Trick didn't have enough important songs. They had a few great songs. They had a great band. They had a great guitar player. I think they were underrated, not overrated.
Absolutely correct.
But, they were regional in the end. They were Fast Times at Ridgemont High, was California. That was their peak. And I guess that was the import to America in that big way. And it's not enough. Cheap Trick gotta go.
Cheap Trick's gotta go. I'm not gonna block that, but I will say that their first 5 albums are all 5-star perfection. Chicago.
Time and time again, I see your face smiling inside. I'm so happy that you love me.
Okay, this is a tough one because I don't think they're the greatest American band, but they have an extensive catalog. They remained relevant. I have to keep them. They're definitely one of the main American bands that remained through the important times, which are the 70s and 80s. Okay, so Chicago remains. So we've only cut 4. We need to step it up. We got 20.
Well, okay, so I'm going to have to get off the tribute band because it looks like everything's popping up tribute bands.
She sings on somewhere you can't see. She sits in the top of the greenest tree. She sends out an aroma of undefined love. It drips on down in a mist from above. She's just a girl. She's just a girl. The girl you want.
So I guess what I've learned today is that anybody can get a tribute band. Oh wait, the next guys don't. Well, they're not mine. So anyway, Devo's gotta go. They're just a. They're maybe a great band. They're a period band. They can't be the greatest American band.
Why'd you tell me this? While you look for my reaction.
The Doobie Brothers are sort of a lesser version of a mix of the Allman Brothers and Steely Dan. And while I love them, particularly the Michael McDonald years, I'm a true deep fan. There's no way they're the greatest American band, and they've got to go.
Okay, I would agree though. I love that guy's voice.
Day blood in the streets, it's up to my ankles. Feet blood in the streets, it's up to my knees.
Well, the Doors. I'm just gonna say that they qualify because I'm not gonna get that type of wrath by kicking them out.
Okay,
Right
the
now.
safety.
That's the safety.
All right, playing it safe. That's good. To the Eagles.
Johnny come lately. The new kid in town.
One of the more hated bands on this list, I would guess. But unquestionably one of the great American bands. There's just no question about it. And certainly the most popular band on this list. They've sold more albums than any of the other bands except maybe Metallica. Now, they've sold more than Metallica. Don't be ridiculous. The Eagles have to stay for now.
Yeah.
But I've never been wrong. Skeletons out the way it does in the song.
The Grateful Dead is staying as well, and not because they're a sure shot for greatest American band. I can't imagine how they make it to the very end, but they were more important than people understand, I think, and especially for all that jam rock and the southern rock and country rock and everything else.
And the whole concept of a band sort of seeming like they're on a perpetual tour at where the fans follow them around.
Oh yeah,
that seemed to
that's
come from
they were
for
the
sure.
kings of that. And also, there's many people who would say they're the greatest band, even today, would
Yep.
say they were the greatest American band. And
I would say that's right.
that's important.
No time that sets the world around, 'cause you know where I'll be found when I come around.
Okay, Green Day, Don't Be Ridiculous. Absurd.
Wait,
Okay,
ooh,
Guns N' Roses.
wait, do I block that? They were so important. Oh, like a whole generation of millennials, that's rock and roll too.
You want to block it?
They're not going to make it all the way. I don't know who else you're going to pick. I'm gonna hold off. Who do I get? Guns N' Roses?
Everybody needs some time on their own. Oh, don't you know you need some time all alone?
They get to the next round. They're bigger. They were bigger for their chunk of time than Green Day, and I think they maybe lasted longer. Maybe.
Okay, Heart is next.
Got to be you, read my letter, not your hired hand. I don't know how to say it no better. I love you and the band.
I love them. However, they're not going to stay on the list. They have to go. They're not going to make it to the next round. But I do love them, particularly, the first 4 albums. They're so good. But all right, away they go.
Okay.
It's Journey to You.
He's just a young boy out of school, living his world like he wants to.
Journey stays on this list. Journey has got to be a contender. They were
agree.
just such an important, and they were an important band in their time. They were an important band after their time. They're just like foundational American bands.
Yeah, arena rock begins with Journey.
And
a way,
all
right? Yeah.
sports arenas too played. I mean, there's maybe 3 or 4 Journey songs.
Yeah.
It's like-
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, Killers to me.
But she's touching his chest now. He takes off her dress now. Let me go.
Some songs I really, really like from the Killers, but I don't think they belong shoulder to shoulder with some of these other bands. So I'm going to eliminate the Killers. Yeah, I mean, we got to eliminate some bands. It has
You
to
know
be
what?
with this.
I'm gonna use my block.
Okay,
here.
one block
and here's,
down.
Here's the reason. It's a selfish reason. We need some millennial bands to make it into the next round. I'm not seeing any right now.
Okay.
And so if one's got to go, oh my God. Oh no, Smashing Pumpkins shouldn't be on the list. It's one guy.
Oh, that's a good point. Smashing Pumpkins. Up.
Or no.
We're doing 45. Smashing Pumpkins.
Well,
They
Shane,
belong.
we just came up with Smashing Pumpkins. So I'm saving Killers.
Okay, you're saving Killers. Smashing.
Yeah, and then I'll let John destroy Smashing Pumpkins, I guess.
If it's
Even
mine.
though they're from my hometown. You're up for Linkin Park.
Linkin Park.
It all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart.
No, I just did Killers.
I saved Killers.
Oh, so that's your turn then?
Oh, you did Killers. Yeah, I'm doing Linkin Park.
Okay.
Okay, well, Linkin Park, since Killers lives, Linkin Park definitely has to die. Killers is our millennial band, and Linkin Park is just not quite their level.
I'm not going to argue against that. Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Mr. Saturday Night Special. Got a barrel that's doing cold.
I am not a fan of Lynyrd Skynyrd, but it's one of those bands where I think I'm not a fan and then end up liking about 8 of their big songs. So maybe I am a fan, but I don't really like them. But I think they deserve a place in this list. And also since the Allman Brothers went, whom I prefer really, Lynyrd Skynyrd's got to stay.
Well, I would have blocked, so I'm glad I didn't have to use my block.
Okay.
MC5.
Pick out the jams, motherfucker!
I guess without the MC5s, there's no Stooges. Without the Stooges, there's no bunch of stuff, I guess, up in here. Back in the day, they sound real raw.
Yeah, they're definitely like garage.
But they
power.
They can't stay on this.
No, I agree with you. I would have cut them. Metallica to me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Metallica started in a more cult area with this sort of speed metal scene, and then they graduated into this universal appeal where they have a diamond album. It's insane. But after that record, they fell out of the spotlight. Like, they were no longer relevant. So, and there's just no way that they're the greatest American band. I can't accept
Oh
it.
no! I have to use my second block?
Are you blocking?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 blocks down.
Yeah, Metallica's to most people it's the
you're
greatest
insane.
American metal
You're
band.
insane. Yeah, metal band, maybe.
Well, that might be the greatest American band.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
That's crazy. Okay, yeah, well, they remain. All right.
Okay, the Misfits.
We're gonna wear it all down. I ain't no goddamn son of a bitch. You better think about it, baby.
Now, my original criteria was, do they have a tribute
yeah.
band?
This is a-
and I've changed my criteria because it looks like it was unworkable, and the Misfits would have been king.
Yeah.
They have more tribute bands than fans, but no, they can't be the America's greatest band because they're too niche.
I'm wondering whether to block that. Ooh. I mean, I haven't used any blocks. I'll let you go with that one. They can go. They're not going to make it to the end. Nirvana, to me.
I have one block left.
Yeah, 1 block left.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Well, you're not ruthless enough.
You've exhausted my. Why did I go with Killers? I like Killers, but they. I thought it
Nirvana, because of the legendary status they retain for 90s music and everything that followed, I think they have to stay for now.
Pearl Jam won't, though. If Nirvana's staying, there's no point in Pearl Jam being on the list.
Yeah, but now at this point they remain relevant like the Grateful Dead are.
I don't know about that.
You wouldn't believe the amount of airplay they get. It's
Really?
crazy.
Okay,
Yeah,
well.
there's a huge. So I'm going to block.
It
I'll
does- oh,
keep
you're gonna
going.
block
Yeah, I'll
it.
use a block.
Oh,
I'll use a
okay.
block. I don't love Pearl Jam, but I think that they're underrated by people with apparent taste, and also they're a true band. Whereas Nirvana, well, they were a real band too.
What?
So, yeah, they were a real band too.
Why are you
Yeah,
like-
yeah. I don't know.
Don't go overboard.
Okay, Pixies to me.
With your feet on the air, your head on the ground.
The Pixies are one of the coolest bands on this list, but in the end, I just don't like them that much. I love the stuff I love, but I can't keep them on this list. Sorry, the Pixies have got to go. So away they go.
Yeah, I'm
Pixies
not
are
gonna
done.
block it, though. I like the Pixies. I love R.E.M.
When the world is a monster.
For their not popular stuff, through Reckoning, and there's a document. What's the
Document, Murmur,
Murmur might have been the last. Murmur.
Life's Rich Pageant. That's a good one.
Well, I like all of those. They used to, before they changed, they used to have a different style most people don't know about. And then afterwards, their pop stuff was prolific, and they did tons, and they were a huge band. But I'm not that fond of it, and it didn't make it to 2025, I don't think, so much. So they go.
They go. I'll block that.
Whoa.
Okay. Ramones.
Wanna go get some Chinese rock. I'm living on a Chinese rock. All my best things are already out.
The Ramones,
I have no blocks. Oh,
you have one left. The Ramones stay. They're going to stay. Yeah. They're just too fundamental. They have to stay for now.
Okay, my homies, Smashing Pumpkins. From my hometown, probably a little older than me, but, you know, within something. They're going to have to go. I like them, but I don't know. Who's going to call them the greatest American?
Yeah, no chance. No chance. Sonic Youth. All right, the sort of godfathers of whatever they did. I don't care for them, but I really like Pavement a lot, and they were definitely...
Why is it, Canadian. Pavement's not American?
Pavement's not on here. They should be on here. shouldn't they?
Yeah, I guess you're putting them at the
All
end.
right. We'll add
let's get
Pavement. All right, Pavement's going on.
Pavement got added.
Okay, so Sonic Youth, though, I just don't care for them very much. And as important as they are, they're too outside. They're definitely a cult band, and they go.
I liked Sonic Youth, but yeah, they're not going to be. Soundgarden. Again, the same reason I tried to get rid of Pearl Jam. I mean, if we're going to have one, we should only have one from that region and from that era. And
But which is the best one?
Nirvana. So that's my opinion. I'm sticking with it. Soundgarden
They don't have
goes.
a big enough catalog, Nirvana. But all right, yeah, so Soundgarden goes, and I'll block that.
Ooh, how many
Okay,
blocks you
that's
have?
it. That's all my blocks.
So we're both out?
I think we're out of blocks, so these stick. So we're getting into some territory here. Steely Dan to me.
I'm ready to cross that fine line. Learn to work the saxophone. I play just what I feel.
Are really a duo, not a proper band, so they go.
That's gonna make people mad. This is gonna make people so mad. This is gonna kill. And as important as the Stooges were, you know, there's no way, because they just didn't have enough songs. You know what I'm saying? Stooges,
They go.
bye-bye.
Nothing I can say. The Strokes. The Strokes are fundamental in a way to the 2000s, and I love the first two albums. They're not in this list really proper. They don't belong here, in my opinion, so I'm going to kill them.
Yeah, the Talking Heads.
Heard of a band that's loaded with weapons, packed up and ready to go.
Are a funny group. I like the punky stuff they did early, and I did not like the new style with Stop Making Sense. Is it? With
okay.
all the drum,
Wildlife
drum.
is my favorite of their singles, actually.
Did they do an old and a new version, or is that just the new?
I think it was a latter-day single.
Oh,
from them.
maybe that's a good song. Anyway, they're not going to make it.
They cut. Okay, wow. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. You might be saying to yourselves, why did Bruce Springsteen not make this list and Tom Petty did? The Heartbreakers are more of a proper band. Their lineup is iconic, and they're going to stay on the list.
Yeah, Toto. is going to stay on the list because they are the millennials rock band. I mean, and they do have a catalog. I don't see how we're going to be able to stick with them, but they are rock and roll or pop rock to a billion people in the world of a certain demographic. So Toto stays.
Okay, I would probably have cut them, but yeah. Now Van Halen. Is one of my favorite bands. I don't need to really talk them up yet. We'll get into that later.
Yeah,
Van Halen stays.
Van
Halen stays.
I can't cut them.
One of my favorites, and if he cut them, I would block them. Even if I spent all 3 blocks, I would quit this duo if they didn't stay on the list.
See, he's got so emotional. The Velvet Underground.
I'm tired. I am weary. I could sleep for 1,000 years.
We're such a huge band, and there's so many songs. There's no way I'm not going to leave them on the list. That would be ridiculous. I mean, that's so silly. They stay on the list.
Okay, yeah, I agree. They got to stay for now. White Stripes.
Can't think of anything to do. Yeah, my left brain knows that I love is fleeting. She just looking for something new. Yeah, said it wants me falling, but it bears repeating now.
Absolutely absurd. Nowhere on this list do they belong. ZZ Top to you.
My can of dinner and a bunch of fine beer drinkers in Hellraiser. Yeah. Baby, don't you wanna come with me?
Yeah, they're going to stay. I mean, people say, what's the blues guitarist that did the Hendrix?
The blues. Yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah. He's the top. ZZ Top are the top American blues band of after the blues era. Sorry, of all time. That's my opinion.
Okay.
ZZ Top are definitely going to be in there.
I appreciate that you kept them, and I agree with that. And now it's time for Pavement.
It has a nice ring when you laugh at the low life opinions. And they're coming to the chorus now. I keep my address to yourself, 'cause we need secrets. We need secrets back right now.
Which we added to the end after we hit Sonic Youth. And it's timely because that documentary just came out, sort of cementing their importance. But they are, in my opinion, the greatest band of the 90s, and they have to stay. And here we are at the end of the first round.
So we're down to like around 30, which isn't enough.
Yeah, 27. We need to go further. So we gotta cut deeper, bloodier, and more ruthlessly, which we will do in the next round. So thanks for joining us. Please click like and subscribe, and we will send you a notification to view the thrilling conclusion to this vital debate. See you then.